Welcome back to another episode of the Football Frauds Podcast. My name is Miles.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Matt.
We're talking free agency and combine news here. We're going through bit by bit all the information from the past week or so. We're on top of things. We're dialed the fuck in. We're starting off with the DJ Moore trade. DJ Moore, who I famously asked, you saw this probably on multiple media markets, I made a formal request to shoot DJ Moore up in a rocket through Brandon McManus's butt onto the moon, and my wish was granted. Brandon McManus, through the force of DJ Moore's head up his butt, has been shot to the moon, and DJ Moore deflected off him and landed in Buffalo.
Did the Packers cut him? I never saw what happened with that.
I don't think he's cut, but they have been in talks with Brandon McManus and his crew. They've been in talks.
In talks.
No,
so are you
you
going to
fucking suck.
You're going to make more kicks
Aubrey,
next year?
Brandon Aubrey. They've been in talks with Brandon
he's a free
Aubrey,
agent,
so.
I think.
They give him $10 million.
That'd be
He's just said to be the highest paid kicker.
That's what he wants.
He wants
in
10.
NFL history.
I could see it, honestly, how good he's been.
Honestly, with how ass the Packers kickers have been historically, might as well, dude. Give him all. Let's get, as a community, let's pool all of our money. Yeah. Give it to Brandon Aubrey. Let him kick 70 yards.
Who needs a defensive tackle on the Packers?
Exactly,
kicker.
dude. Exactly.
It'd be funny if we signed him and then he was just fucking terrible.
That's a typical Packers
That would happen.
fashion,
Yeah. I remember all the Bears hated our kicker, and Jake Moody, the Niners kicker, came in for a week or two, did well. Like, we need to get rid of Cairo. We need to bring in Moody. We got rid of Moody. He went to the Commanders, and then Cairo got better the back half of the season. And it's like, Cairo, my guy, I love him. Speaking of the Bears, this DJ Moore trade, hot news, hot the press. Probably the day after this when you see this, but man, as a Bears fan, I was hoping the entire offseason he was going to get traded. Our wide receiver room is full. Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, I love those pieces. I really see them being great NFL players for years. And I just think when you have holes on other spots of your roster, putting that many assets and that much cap space in one spot. So to get rid of DJ Moore, I was hoping for like a 4th or a 5th round pick. You clear up the cap space. And I thought his effort was starting to wane. You definitely thought his effort was starting to wane.
It's not a question of if it was. It was for years.
Yeah.
So I thought, anyone watching his film, I thought was going to see that. So hoping for a 4th or a 5th round pick. Miles, I have no idea what Brandon Beane was doing.
I found this shocking, to be honest. I thought Moore was worth maybe a 6th round pick, and then the Bears take part of his contract. Matt, what happened with his contract there with the guarantees?
I think so. The Bears had already pushed some of the money out into future, so it's like we're taking on dead cap of 10 or so million. But my understanding is the Bills are going to have to pay him like $25 million this year and $25 million next year. Like that seems to me like, would he even make that much on the free agency market right now? Let alone trading for him to like. That's a lot of money and a lot of draft capital for DJ Moore.
The thing is, we broke down the Bills not too long ago, and so if you guys want to hear that offseason breakdown, you can go to that episode. But if I'm correct, I don't know how they have the cap to do this.
No, they're going to have to restructure Josh and Deion Dawkins and Spencer. They had options they could do, but they're going to have to push money out into the future. I think Brandon Beane is trying to save his butt right now because everyone's mad about the receivers.
Feels like a panic trade to me.
Definitely.
I don't get it.
The thing is, I would rather pay someone on the free agent market that same amount of money.
Yeah.
I'd rather give Dobbs or Pierce $28 million.
Yeah, and they're 2 or 3 years younger, and I think
and they don't require giving up picks.
Totally. I don't get this move at all.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
He's buying DJ Moore from 3 years ago.
Yeah. The one thing is Joe Brady worked with DJ Moore on the Panthers, and that DJ Moore had a lot of success under Joe Brady there. So I get that connection. Maybe they can rekindle something. What this feels like to me is, the press and the news are mad about the Bills receiver room. You got to get Josh Allen some talent. And so Beane is freaking out, thinking he needs to prove something.
Typical.
But we said in that episode, they have holes in a lot of spots on their roster. Like, you can't give up this amount of money and a 2nd-round pick just to fill wide receiver when you have all these defensive line things going on too.
Mm-hmm.
Moore is a fascinating fantasy asset.
Oh, yeah.
For this upcoming season. Where do you think he goes among wide receivers? Like wide receiver 14?
No.
18?
17.
No.
Yeah, I think in that range.
He's in the 20s, without a doubt.
I think he's under 20 for sure.
Wide receiver 1 in the Bills.
Yeah, and the Bills. I mean,
but he's just competing with Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir.
Yeah. Coleman's out
Joe
of the
Brady
picture.
loves Keon Coleman. It's the
Yeah,
best thing that happened to Keon Coleman was Joe Brady.
True.
Keon Coleman also got DNPs in the last 4 games of the season.
That really doesn't matter to me. I agree that there's high upside, but I'm not buying it yet. I got to see it in fruition
I also
first.
there's a chance DJ Moore's effort goes back up when he's in an offense that just kind of throws him the ball more, because he's like a physical, like, I'm gonna get the ball and turn into a running back type guy. I can kind of see him like, I'm taking over the game right now, like versus like when he's running all these precise downfield like timing based routes under Ben Johnson's scheme.
Yeah.
But still not worth the money.
The other huge trade from this past week, the Rams give up their 9th first-round pick in the last 10 years.
Dope.
They've taken all of their first-round picks the last 10 years, and they've traded away all but one of them. The one they didn't trade away became Jared Verse, and they've got the 12th pick in this upcoming draft, the Falcons pick. They're sitting there with the opportunity to add Jermod McCoy from Tennessee or Mansur Delane from LSU and rebuild their secondary in the blink of an eye and all of a sudden become an incredibly well-rounded defense. And it seems like they're kind of positioning themselves like we expected, not to try and get Ty Simpson or chase another quarterback or think about the future, but try and maximize this window while Stafford still has it.
Yeah, Connor, what do you think about this move?
I don't hate it. I think that for whatever reason, they were gifted the Falcons' first-round pick.
Yeah.
That was such a terrible trade.
They did give up like an extra something later. Like it wasn't just a first, but yeah, love it for the Rams.
It was so bad for the Falcons, and I guess tip the cap to the Rams. And it's not like
the Falcons are lucky that Kirk Cousins won. Like they went 4-1 or something in their last 5, because that could have been like pick 7 instead of pick 13.
Well, and so if this was the Rams' only first-round pick this year, I'd be a little more skeptical. I mean, you have no really succession plan coming on. Like eventually, you're gonna have to. All the players on your team are gonna have to be paid.
Yep.
But they still have their first-round pick, or I said the Falcons' first-round pick, which is better than theirs.
Yeah.
And so I guess it makes sense to get Trent McDuffie and fill a huge hole with a certified baller, and go into this next year hotter than you were last year.
Yeah, and I think
Just like us.
Oh yeah, baby.
Getting in the gym. Oh, did you guys notice? Sorry. Yeah.
No big deal.
Just podcasting here a little bit. What I like about this move is I think they are truly in a defined window where it's like, do you care what's going to happen 2 years from now? Like, let's say they have two more years of Stafford. Maybe it's 3, but like, push your money out into the future, waste some assets, like maximize this window. We talked about, what if the Seahawks lost Devin Witherspoon in that playoff game? Like, would they have been able to win it all? What if the Rams added Trent McDuffie? Kind of the same discussion, like one more piece.
Yeah.
Get over the top. I like it. I think they should be Super Bowl favorites, and I'm pumped for the Rams.
What if the Zach Charbonnet play doesn't count for a 2-point conversion? The Rams are the 1 seed. They get a first-round bye, and they're sitting there at home against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the fucking roll of the football.
Yeah.
Totally.
I also really like this for the Chiefs as well.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, they're sitting in a spot where they need to find cheap, good talent, and to do that, you have to have draft picks. And the Chiefs haven't had it in recent history.
No,
I mean, they're drafting. They essentially have only had second-round draft picks.
Yeah,
and they had a down year, and what are they picking at? Like 9, 8, 9. And they added another first-round draft pick as well. And I don't know how long Trent McDuffie had on his contract still.
I think it was his final year, and so the Rams are getting it. They have one cheaper year, and then they're going to have to negotiate an extension.
And that is exactly why it's a win-win.
Yeah.
There was no one that I don't see anyone getting screwed in this. It was good for both parties and what both parties needed.
Apparently, an extension is placed to make him among the highest-paid corners in the NFL, probably $30 million plus a year.
And I don't see how that benefits the Chiefs. They can't pay that. So,
back-to-back years here, them trading away their best corners. Obviously, Snead took a huge step down. They did that earlier in the regime with Chris Harris. Back in the day, they traded him away for a high pick.
Yeah, they did it with Tyreek Hill.
Exactly.
I think because the Chiefs are such a good team, but they don't they don't maximize their money like other teams. They're not as rich. I think it makes sense. It's kind of like what the Brewers do in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you can't spend all the money, so you get to develop. You're really good at developing players, but if they become elite, you're going to get more value out of trading them than actually keeping them and paying them.
Exactly.
Can you imagine how much it would suck to cheer for the NFL if there was no salary cap?
Oh my
so
god!
bad.
I honestly don't think we'd be doing this podcast because we wouldn't like it as much.
The Eagles and the Broncos and like
The Cowboys.
yeah, definitely. The
Not a
Cowboys.
single soul would go to Green Bay.
No,
Not a single soul would go to
the
Green
Packers
Bay.
would be terrible.
How would we raise money?
I keep selling stock. Everyone and their grandma
That
is
with
like
no
forged
returns?
stock. Yes.
Can we give another $100 million, please?
Can I vote? No.
I think with this trade, the Rams probably overpaid, considering they have to give him a market value contract.
Yeah.
It's a market value contract and all these picks, but they have Matt Stafford, who's old and has had back problems. Like, you got to win now.
If you think about it, like, would you rather have an extra $25 million cap space, a third-round pick, a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and Colton Hood, or Trent McDuffie right now?
Yep.
And it's like, I understand that calculus.
And a connection between the Micah Parsons trade and this trade, why I like it for the teams that acquired the player, is both of the Packers and the Rams have those young players from like later round draft picks that overperformed. Like, you can fill out your roster with these cheap guys because you've drafted and developed so well that by giving up future draft picks, your roster's filled because you've already overperformed.
Right.
We're like, the Bills, I don't like it because they have holes. They haven't drafted that well recently.
Yeah.
Like, they're giving this pick up. They need that pick to fill in the rest of the roster still.
In 2 years, they're going to have to pay Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, and Puka. And Puka's going to get 50 probably a year by the time the cap inflates.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So all of a sudden, that's going to be a terrible cap situation. McDuffie fits in.
But to
nicely.
me, they get there when they get there. Then maybe Stafford retires. They can trade one or two of those players away. Get some pick. I love it for the Rams.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray released by the Cardinals with $55 million in dead cap. Kind of an unsurprising move to everybody. He now gets to go to a team of his choice for the veteran minimum, and the Cardinals be forced to pay whatever the difference is between his contract and the $55 million. So he kind of has his pick of the litter here. Hot name for Kyler is the Vikings. Doesn't really seem to fit their Kevin O'Connell, throw the ball over the middle, play action. He wants to throw it outside and scramble around. But if you're the Vikings and Kyler assumedly goes to the best situation, which you probably think is the Vikings right now, I feel like that makes sense for Kyler. And if you're O'Connell, if you claim to be this quarterback whisperer and developer, okay, do it with a guy who doesn't fit your system, right?
Well, I think the kicker here is that the way the contract works and the cutting works is that Kyler can be signed for the minimum. Like, basically, whatever the new team pays them is what the Cardinals get subtracted from what they have to pay them. So it incentivizes the new team, like, okay, we're not going to pay you anything because Kyler gets paid the same no matter what. So I kind of like it for the Vikings. Maybe Kevin O'Connell adjusts his scheme and can work to Kyler's strengths. What do you think, Connor?
I don't like the fit in their offense. I've always been on Kyler Murray is kind of on fraud watch. It's kind of come to fruition as of recently.
What about $1 million Kyler Murray?
I mean, some team should sign him. He should get another shot. But I don't like the fit. I think if you're trying to win, and Minnesota should be a team that's trying to win, they shouldn't have Kyler Murray on their team. I think that Kyler Murray is a very backyard quarterback, a very scramble quarterback.
Yep.
Make things kind of just happen. And when you're in a really cerebral offense and you have to make reads, I bet it would piss Kevin O'Connell off that not all the reads were looked at and open players were missed. And this small human being is just running around, running in circles.
I agree that it's definitely not a good fit. I don't have any illusions of it being a good fit. But the question is, what is the opportunity cost of going for somebody else? If you have to trade a second for Mac Jones and give him $30 million a year, or if you have to bring in Kirk Cousins and give him $12 million a year, there's a certain trade-off there where it's like, you know what, we'll just take the best player available at the best value contract. He doesn't fit our system, but we can make this work because I'm a good coach.
Make it work for 1 year, have one final year to decide, is J.J. McCarthy going to ever play for us again? Or So to me, and if KOC is supposed to be as good at scheming as he is, Sean McVay disciple, can he work it around Kyler? You still have Jefferson and Addison. You still have good pieces on your offensive line. Can you tweak your offense and use it to Kyler's strengths for a year?
Grogan, what's a landing spot you like for Kyler?
I kind of like him in Pittsburgh, if I'm being honest.
I like that.
I think that's alive.
I think that Pittsburgh's probably my favorite landing spot for him. Other than that, I could also see Miami trying to put something together for him.
Don't have to pay him.
They don't have to pay him, and mainly just teams that need a bridge is what I'm looking at. And so, if I'm a team that's trying to win and I need a quarterback, I'm not going with Kyler Murray.
Yeah. My only thought is, am I on my? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. My mic sometimes fails. Is it working?
Yeah.
Gosh, it just sounded weird. For
Put
a
it close to
second.
your mouth.
It's working.
It's working.
I don't know if Mike McCarthy and Kyler Murray. I don't know if Kyler would ever choose to go do that.
To be honest, I don't think any coach is going to like Kyler. I don't think anybody really wants him on their team.
But I could
Yeah.
see him with KOC or Jeff Hafley before I'd see him trying to work it with
McCarthy.
I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe there's because I think it's more traditional West Coast. They say, which is a little more like
RPO, get it outside.
yeah, point and click.
Yeah.
Just shoot. It's kind of like first person. Shoot him in the head. Just find the open guy right away. And
Yeah.
throw it to him.
Yeah. I think if I'm Minnesota, I still give J.J. McCarthy one more shot. And I don't want to waste that, like, quote-unquote, shot that you're giving J.J. McCarthy on a Kyler Murray stint as well.
Yeah.
Jonathan Grenard, trade rumors from the Vikings. They swap him out for Daniil Hunter, a free agent for free agent swap. I think Grenard's really good, but apparently the Vikings are shopping him. My guess is that their coaching staff with Brian Flores has kind of over-indexed their confidence in saying, listen, we don't need elite edge play. We can spend our assets elsewhere. They're trying to move him and get a high draft pick and then maybe save up capital for a quarterback in the future or add to their secondary where Flores feels like he can be more creative instead of relying on elite edge talent.
I know. Jeez. Come on.
Hold it in. Oh, yeah, hold it in there.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I know. I think they signed Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
And I think they cut Hargrave for sure. And I think they might be about to cut Allen. So I feel like it's just like last year when they made all their moves, we're gonna win now. We're the best. We can maximize. We just went 14-3, and I think they're like no longer thinking about winning now. Now that Quessie's gone, they're thinking about like how can we not screw ourselves in the future? Because the way they structured their contracts and trading away all their picks, they were like, we're a win now team. Now I think like we want to be sustainable here. So I don't know if they could get a second for Grenard, because he's at a market contract, and he's not a star. I could see it happening.
Thoughts on Grenard?
I mean, they have to do something. They have to do something. They were, what was it, 70 in the hole?
It wasn't that bad.
But they had to make moves.
I currently see it as 47.
Okay, 70, 47. Something had to happen regardless. And we talked about how they were probably going to restructure Grenard, Justin Jefferson, and a couple other of those big contracts and push out for the future. This is essentially just that. Instead of restructuring, you're just trading it away.
If they trade him, they'd save $12 million this year and then $23 next year, and they get the cap space back. But yeah, before this whatever league year starts, they're going to need to restructure Jefferson, Darisaw, Brian O'Neill, lots of guys.
There's also talk of T.J. Hawkinson being on the block, and if not, they might release him, given how poor he was last year. Trey Hendrickson is a free agent after a dramatic saga with the Bengals, where the Bengals refused to pay him. He basically said, screw you guys, I guess I'll play out my contract, but I don't. I mean, it makes sense if I was him in his shoes. I wouldn't want to be with a franchise where you lead the NFL in sacks, you produce year after year on a terrible defense, and you don't get any sort of praise via financial compensation whatsoever.
Yeah, they're a really cheap franchise, and for having like one of the worst defenses in the NFL, it's like, why would you not extend an outstanding pass rusher? But they're another franchise that like tends to be pretty poor, doesn't want to like max out their cap every single year. The whole thing was just like, I think last year if they traded him instead of giving him, they gave him this rinky-dink 1-year extension, and I think they could have traded him a year ago for like maybe a first-round pick because he was on A year ago, he was on a good value contract, so they could have traded him. Someone could have given him a new extension, and they just like took this weird half measure, and now they get no draft capital, and they don't get Trey Hendrickson.
They also could have traded him at the deadline when they were dead last year.
Yes, that is such a.
They could have got a third for him.
Yeah,
Easy.
Easy.
And they knew they weren't going to re-sign him, but
they thought Jake Browning and Joe Flacco could have gotten them into,
yeah,
it was delusional.
poor process. Kenneth Walker's a free agent. His market exploded after the Super Bowl MVP performance there. I think Walker pre-playoff run probably would have got $10 to $12 million a year. Mm-hmm. Now he's showing his value as a lead back. It feels like he's more like in the $15 million, like sixth highest paid running back territory.
Yeah, I think that he definitely proved his value, and Charbonnet getting hurt it's hate to say it, but it was actually pretty good for Walker because he proved that you didn't need a committee.
Yeah,
he could be the bell cow.
Every single tough carry they gave to Charbonnet, and then Charbonnet went down, and Kenneth Walker's like, well, I can do the tough carries too. I just didn't want to, or like something.
He's been injury prone his whole career, and I think that's why he wasn't a committee. Obviously, it's a short sample size where he's healthy for like 6 weeks, and you over-index on that.
Well, and he's on his contract year. We talk about it a lot, but the contract year matters so much, man. Players try so much harder on their contract
especially
year.
for guys that get tackled 300 plus times a season, where usually you're like, well, I don't want to get hurt, but contract year you're like, I'm a badass player.
A good example of that is last year for the Packers when Christian Watson was coming back. They didn't want him to rush coming back, and so they just gave him that extension, the 1 year extension right away, so that he knew that he didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Because on the contract year, you're going to do whatever you can to make 5 more catches. That, in theory, it could be $250,000 for you.
Yep.
In an addition on the contract. When you put it in that that perspective, you're going to do whatever you can to do. Like, everything matters so much more.
I think it's a great point. And I think why this is a news item, there was talk about, are they going to franchise tag him? Mm-hmm. But I also want to point out the Jeremiah Love draft discussion. When you draft a guy high in the first round, you have to pay him a good amount of salary too. So if you're a team looking at running back needs, would you rather use your top 10 pick and draft whatever you need most and pay Kenneth Walker $13 million a year, or if you take Jeremiah Love in the top 10, you might be paying him $10 million a year, and you used a whole draft pick on him. Somewhere you have to figure out where that lies for your team.
I think it's interesting because typically you find guys being willing to at least take somewhat of a discount to go to a contender. Kenneth Walker's coming off a Super Bowl, and it seems like I can only imagine that he's probably looking for the bag now. Yeah. And so if you are a team that has a high draft pick and you're not like a Kansas City
Super Bowl MVP, right?
Yep.
So I mean, come on, get your money now.
Exactly.
You've already reached the tippy top. You've been to Mount Everest. You looked around, took a couple selfies. You're like, well, this is cool.
Yeah, you can't. It's like the ultimate scenario where you can justify actually taking the bag.
Yeah.
But that also being said, if you're in free agency and you can choose, if you're Kenneth Walker and you can choose, you're going to go to a good offensive line. How many of those teams have a good offensive line?
Titans don't. Patriots aren't going to get a running back.
I think that the Chiefs is like that. They talk. If Kenneth Walker could go there, if they could swing the cap for him, that'd be pretty awesome for him.
Commanders' O-line's decent. They got some cap space.
Yeah, I can see the Commanders being a good fit, but that being said, it's like some of these teams that are up there. It's like you don't have the choice between Kenneth Walker and Jeremiah Love. It's either you draft Jeremiah Love or you're getting
Tyler Algier.
Yeah, not one of the best running backs that you can this offseason.
Alec Pierce is a free agent. Elite season as a deep threat for Indianapolis. There's talks of him getting $25 million plus a year, given how kind of on fire the wide receiver market is. Pierce was a good asset in fantasy this past year. Really won down the field well. The Colts have a lot of other options at wide receiver right now. Josh Downs didn't play a ton for them.
Michael Pittman,
who's also a free agent, not getting talked about at all. Thoughts on Pierce?
I got a question for you, Miles. There's talks about the Colts. Maybe they figure out a way to trade Pittman and use because I think you can. If you trade Pittman, you retain like almost his whole salary, no dead cap at all. Use that 22 or 24 million and use that to pay Alec Pierce, because maybe Pittman's skill set can be replaced by Josh Downs.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no one on the Colts roster right now or even Tyler Warren can replace some of what Pittman does.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce has a unique skill set. Do you like that the Colts are letting him go? Do you think they should have traded Pittman?
Well, didn't they get rid of Mitchell? Didn't they trade Mitchell to the Jets?
Yeah, A.D. Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell.
Yep.
He's a field stretcher.
Definitely.
And you traded him because you had Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
And so if you get rid of Alec Pierce, who's going to stretch the field for you? You're going to have to draft someone and hope that they're good enough to start.
Yeah.
Or you got to re-sign Alec Pierce.
Unless they move around their cap,
Yeah.
after franchise tagging Daniel Jones, I don't know if they have the money to pay Alec Pierce.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. That's why I thought, I guess it's not over yet. They still could trade Pittman. Doesn't seem like it.
This is pretty obvious to me. I'd trade Pittman without even blinking. Pittman.
I think in terms of how much they help a team, Pittman is probably as good or better than Pierce. But like Josh Downs and Tyler Warren have more similar skill sets to Pittman.
Okay.
No question.
I want to pose some with you guys. Can you guys remember a team that had a window open and close as fast as Indianapolis?
Injury.
Their window opened. Their window opened, week 3?
I remember the 2022 Jets under Saleh were 7-3, and their defense was elite, and then they finished 8-9 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was essentially like a 3-week window. They're like, fuck it, Sauce Gardner, let's go.
Yeah. And now their future's closed too. I don't see them being a show-stopping team this year either. And so it's like they went from literally this team could win it all to this team might be bad for years.
The Colts could have been a good Kyler Murray landing spot, but now they've already paid Daniel Jones. I don't think Kyler's going to want to sign there.
Yeah, I would like that with Steichen. Playmakers on the outside, you can throw screens to RPO.
Yeah, Steichen work with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Kyler's not nearly as strong, but they have some similar skill set there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right.
Javonte Williams was extended by the Dallas Cowboys. He got $8 million a year for 3 years, I believe. Any thoughts there?
I just like this move because it's Rico Dowdle's a free agent, similar guy, came from the Cowboys, but it's running back. People care about them because they get the carries, they get the touches, and you get these exciting ones in the draft, and come on, we need a real running back.
Yeah.
But you can slip into the cracks and find running back talent in weird spaces. Javonte Williams was a talented, I think, second-round draft pick to the Broncos. Had a great rookie season. Tore his ACL. You think he's done, especially historically. Some of these knee ligament injuries that these running backs get. But credit to Javonte, he really worked to recover, and he's looking like an elite back again. J.K. Dobbins was a similar story coming back from all these injuries. I just like the way that smart teams, and the Cowboys can be smart, can be dumb, can find these running back values out of nowhere, and now $8 million a year to extend him. I like it for the Cowboys.
It's so weird because quarterbacks moving teams, it's news. Wide receivers moving teams, it's news.
Totally.
Running backs, it's just a shuffle. It's hard to get attached to a running back because in 2 years probably not going to be on your team.
Yep.
It's such a weird position to play and just live your life as.
There's just so much talent across the league. The opportunity cost for losing a guy and how little they paid.
Yeah.
It creates a market where guys are expendable, and since they don't make any money, you can kind of just shuffle guys around every year. Yeah. Whereas it's much harder to find talent at quarterback.
Who is the Chargers' backup running back?
Kamani Vidal.
Vidal. A couple times this season, I'm watching him this guy looks really talented.
He's juice.
And he's a nobody.
Yeah.
He's an absolute nobody.
It happens all the time. Pacheco is a 7th-round pick. Who knows if he can come back, but he was terrible the past few years.
And what do you guys think about Ashton Ginty's rookie season? He's supposed to be all that in a bag of eggs.
Yeah, but you
What is that what is that phrase?
It should be funny if you go to the store and they're like, eggs, please, and you just take out a fucking bag and just go.
Oh, dude.
Thank you.
I can expose this
what
person.
What is that phrase?
Because they don't
Bag of chips.
Bag of chips.
I can expose this person because they don't listen to this podcast. But I have a coworker, and whenever we're deep in the woods doing field work, she'll literally pull a bag of hard-boiled eggs out of her backpack.
A bag of eggs. Let's go.
Yeah. And I'm like, those are warm, hard-boiled eggs, right? What are you doing right now?
That's vile.
It is.
Oh.
Look, I am kind of a vile eater. I'll eat whatever, but I think that's where my line is. I saw that and was like, that should never be a thing. I really hate this.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely. Well,
So yeah,
what do we have for time?
we're about a half hour in.
Okay, let's keep it rolling.
We're going combine now. Pivot. We're entering combine talk. We don't give a fuck about free agency anymore. Fuck that. We're talking about guys in the future. Guys who aren't in the NFL right now. Guys who are going to be future stars. The combine has a lot of storylines coming out of it. We're going to lead with Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles obviously had an elite combine. He came out of there with a relative athletic score of 10, essentially the outlier of all outliers. He's 6'5", 244 with 33-inch offensive line level arms. Ran a 4.46 40. Had the record in the vertical at 43.5 inches.
Holy
and was
cow.
in the 99th percentile in
Insane.
broad jump at 11 foot 2 inches. Sonny Styles, I mean, you probably saw the tweet. Kyle Hamilton quote tweeting the picture of him compared with Sonny Styles, saying, "I just got brutally frame mogged."
Oh yeah.
It's
Because Kyle Hamilton, he wasn't an elite combine performance, was he?
no, Hamilton was like a 4'6" guy, and that's kind of why he fell and he had injury issues at Notre Dame.
That's crazy.
Styles is bigger, taller, faster, stronger, and more explosive. And so,
Frame mogged.
not trying to brag here, but I've been watching a little bit of tape. I watched like 3 Ohio State games, and I watched Downs individually, I watched Reese individually, and I watched Styles individually. And every time I was watching Downs and Reese, my eyes would drift towards Styles.
Damn.
And I don't know if that's an indicator of anything. And this was like pre-combine before I knew anything, but I just kept watching the way that he moved, and I have no feel for like guys' athleticism, but the fucking way that he flies around and his size and how incredibly explosive he is.
Yeah.
He's just a different mover, the way he flies around the field.
So I noticed the same thing when I watched Ohio State's defensive film. It's almost like Arvell Reese was the disruptor of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
It was very clear that he was the one that blew things up. He was the one that made whatever the offense was doing not work, and they had to then kind of figure it out from there.
Did Styles play more of a mic for them?
Styles was more of the mic, but to finish my point quick, after it was blown up, Reese was more the disruptor that the offense had to account for.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonny Styles was the one that was like, "All right, where are you gonna go? Because I'm right here.
He's a janitor.
And I'm here, and
Yeah.
I've been here, and I know that you cannot get past
He
me."
has the burst and the reaction speed
Yep.
to find whatever the offense is doing
Yep.
and eliminate it.
He's a janitor. He's on
Yep.
cleanup duty.
That's
Yep.
Everything that got to the second level, he was just ready time after time, and he missed 2 tackles all season, and that was in
Yep.
the championship game, or excuse me, in their playoff loss to Miami against the Mark Fletcher, who was elite.
It's 3 of their back 7. 3 defenders on that team are like top 5 defensive draft picks.
Yeah,
Literally.
So crazy. How is that even possible?
No, we're gonna look back on that, and then 2 of those guys are gonna be all pros.
Yeah, that's sick.
Literally insane.
Styles is climbing up into the top 5 conversation, top 10 conversation. 2 months ago, he was in the back end of the first round conversation. People mocked him to the Bucks. Now they're talking about him go to the Giants at 5. I love him. He jumped out of the tape for me. Let's go with his teammate, Arvell Reese. Reese, considered to be the consensus second pick in the draft right now, the odds-on favorite to be the second pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Reese also ran a 4.46, 98th percentile for edge at 240 pounds, 31.5-inch arms, decent length. The difference between Reese and Styles is that Reese has a different level of power. He has different pop in his hands, and he has heavy hands where he can get up on guys on the edge. They would send Styles off on the edge, and he'd play outside linebacker and defend the run.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite have the strength and pop with his hands to get through blockers and get outside. Reese, when he hits dudes, like, you can tell.
Yeah.
There's like a vibration back. Like, you can tell he has a different level of edge rusher pop.
What's so weird is that Arvell Reese, if you watch the tape, you'd say Arvell Reese is stronger and heavier than Sonny Styles. Arvell Reese is 240. Sonny Styles is 244.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I figured Reese was heavier.
But like, so I like Sonny Styles climbing up in the drafts and getting the respect that he deserves. Arvell Reese is the better prospect for the NFL, no doubt. That doesn't take anything away from Sonny Styles, but it's just positional need. And Arvell Reese was a savage. A freaking savage.
Game breaker.
Game breaker. So
Destroyed in the run, destroyed in the pass. They'd move him all over the place. Credit to their DC, Matt Patricia. He was very creative with the way that they used him. I was a huge fan of Reese coming off the edge. So there's a big caveat with Reese. He's going to be drafted at edge.
Yeah.
He wants to play edge. He was a confirmed linebacker in college.
Totally.
He doesn't really have a pass rush repertoire, and his pass rush win rate is below 20%, not an elite mark for an edge rusher. So you're drafting a guy who has all the tools to be an elite edge rusher, has the tools. He's not Micah Parsons in terms of burst, but he's not far off.
Yeah. I think that Arvo Reese is definitely a scheme dependent. Like if you're going to take him at 2, you better have a scheme that fits him. And I like him as the Sam in 3-4. And so that meaning if you have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, he is on the strong side on the line. Mm-hmm. And so he's not that, okay, I have to go up against a tackle. He's the one that's coming off the tight end, getting the running back on floats, and he's setting the edge too. Yeah. And I think that's where he thrives, and he's worth that pick 10 times out of 10.
I think that makes a ton of sense too, especially to me in the Jets scheme.
Yeah.
Where they're sitting there, they just trade for Sweat. Sweat's in the middle defending the run first through second down. And Reese is just sitting there on the edge causing chaos. Yeah. And he pins his ears back on third down, and he's got that elite burst where he can take advantage of tackles that are slower, tight ends that are trying to defend him. It scares me a little bit to take a guy at 2 overall who doesn't have any real pass rush film and probably profiles better as a linebacker.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there a year from now, he doesn't develop the way that you want, and you said, we just took a really good linebacker at 2 overall.
Yeah, but then we're talking about Sony Styles at 5. He's a good linebacker.
Right, and to me, Styles just projects a little bit differently as like a generational prospect in terms of full measurables.
Well, and you know he's going to stay at his position you've seen him perform at.
Right.
You don't have to predict his play at linebacker as much.
Which is what scares me about Reese is that you have David Bailey sitting there who has the complete bag of pass rush tools. You have Reuben Bain, coached by Jason Taylor, has the complete pass rush bag.
Yep.
Every single counter mixed in, knows what they have to do already, has a plan going into the snap. Reese obviously has the athletic capacity to be able to do that, but the question is in the pie of outcomes, what percentage of the time does he end up being an elite edge rusher with all the tools that he can throw out?
And that is the sole reason why I don't like him in a 4-3. I like him in a 3-4 on the line of scrimmage.
That makes sense too, because he can just kind of be versatile in the run game, move around, drop back in coverage if he needs to.
Yeah, that is his role in my eyes in the NFL.
Yeah. Olai Vega Ioane, the guard from Penn State, has risen on draft boards the past 10 or so weeks. He's up to be around
every week.
Yeah, he's up to be around 14. All the film watching guys kind of have him as the top guard, unless you count Maui Noah or Afano as guards. His stock has risen consistently, and McShay, who talks to a lot of NFL GMs and scouts around the league, has said kind of consistently that there's considered to be 4 to 5 blue chip guys in this class. The consensus one is Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
The other consensus is Sonny Styles at linebacker. People think Reese at linebacker is a blue chip, but at edge he's a little bit more of a question mark. And then Caleb Downs, despite his size, is considered as a blue chip floor.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
We'll say. Vega Ioane was the other guy who was mentioned in these conversations. And he's an interesting kind of power hybrid, can move pretty well, interior guy. Matt, thoughts on Vega?
I don't have too much. I know, I watched a little bit of film on him. He's just he's really big, really strong, and then you watch him move, and it's like, oh, there's more burst in here than you'd expect. You're looking at film of other guys similar size, and they're slow-footed. They're heavy to get off the line. It's like, no, he's moving on the. I like him on the move in the run game.
Yeah.
Climbing to the second level, he looks pretty good. Did anything going on crazy with him at the combine? Did he test?
I don't think he did testing at the combine. Connor, do you know?
I don't know if he tested at the combine. To be honest, I didn't watch too much of the offensive line. A lot of them didn't really test.
Yeah.
But that's just typical of recent combines. People aren't going to test if they think that there's going to be something that isn't going to happen, which is another conversation because I freaking hate that. It's like if you're going to go to the combine, you shouldn't just be able to do interviews.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of finding some way to incentivize or maybe even require a certain amount of testing unless you have a doctor's notice that you're injured.
Yeah. Vega at the combine, 6'4", 320, 33-inch arms, vertical jump of 31.5 inches, 86th percentile.
Damn. Yeah, that's where that burst, that climb to the second level comes
Yeah.
from, vertical jump for sure.
Yeah. The one thing that I do like about him is that he does have college reps at all positions.
Okay.
Not substantial outside of left guard. He did have in 2024 and 2023, he did have about 25% of his snaps at right guard. But you'll hear me preach a lot that if I was an NFL GM and I was going to draft an offensive lineman, you need to be versatile. You need to be able to prove. You need to have proof that you can do more than just one position and you can move around my offensive line, because injuries are inevitable, and I can't be screwed if someone goes down and you can't move. So,
Jeremiah Love was the talk of the town in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine. Ran a 4.37 40, only behind the running back from South Carolina. I forget his name.
Oh, Mike Washington.
Well done, Matt. 4.37 40 elite, right on par with Jahmyr Gibbs, which really made me raise my eyes.
No, that's considering how well he takes on contact. That's a crazy speed.
yeah.
Connor, you're a Jeremiah Love guy. You planted your flag fucking well before I ever had the iota of even thinking that he would be this level of prospect. The question is, given positional value, we know how much running backs make. We know how much talent there is in the market. How high can you take Jeremiah Love?
I think that the landing spot, if you look at Gibbs, if you look at all like a couple of the other like quote unquote generational running backs that have come through the draft process, 8. Gibbs went at 8. Genty was the highest in recent memory.
Bijan was at 8.
Going at
Gibbs
6.
is at 12.
But that like 8 number, that is where I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, did you really need him that bad?
Yeah. Hey,
If
the
you-
Saints are at 8 this year, and they have a huge running back hole.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara's washed.
Yep. I think the range for Jeremiah Love, for me being like, yep, that makes sense, is around 8 to 11. If he goes after 11, I'll be sitting there like, why is this guy still on the board? Are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing? But if he goes before 8, I'll be like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you do that? And there's a lot of factors that play, like the fact that you still pay him. You still pay him by the pick and not by the the position.
Completely.
doesn't
Yeah.
change the.
You could sign Kenneth Walker like we talked about.
Yeah.
Carnell Tate runs a 4.53 40, 6'2". Do we care?
I do not care at all. If you see Puka and Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson and plenty of other guys play at even JSN, I don't think was that like. You see these guys play it at the top, like not at a good level, the top 5 level in the entire NFL, run 4.5s. Like if you have good tape and you look fast on tape and you can create separation on tape, like just don't run a 4.65, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing with these 40 times, is that the only time it really matters is if your whole like draft stock relies on you being a burner.
Totally.
Right.
If you aren't a burner guy and you're on a 5.6 or a 5.9, whatever, you didn't come here claiming to be the guy that's going to stretch the field and burn people.
Do you want to know what Carnell Tate did on tape?
Yeah.
He was 11 for 11 on contested catches.
Yeah.
Like he only had 50 catches the entire year, but every time he was downfield and the ball was thrown to him, you know what? He bodied someone out. He high pointed the ball and he brought it down with him. Like his speed is plenty good.
How about a cross-racial comparison here?
Oh, God.
Carnell Tate is souped up Alec Pierce.
Not yet. I
Don't like that, but
I
Why
think
not?
Alec Pierce at this level to me is, next year he's going to help his team more than Carnell Tate does.
Really?
yeah, I'm all for the proof. The proof is in the pudding. You got like, it's not even like necessarily a knock on Carnell Tate or draft picks. It's like think about you 3 years ago. Like that's a 3-year difference of you working on your craft, and so you are going to get better.
You couldn't podcast for shit 3 years ago.
Exactly.
In fantasy redrafts, Tate is going as the wide receiver like 26 right now, and Pierce is in the 40s.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's just rookie bias. It's relevancy bias.
I personally would take Tate.
I think that's all set ceiling. Like we don't think Pierce is gonna.
No,
Pierce, we don't think we has a ceiling, whereas Carnell Tate has a fake ceiling.
Yeah.
I would guess that. I think Pierce is gonna help his team more than Tate in a 1-year sample size.
Yep. In 3 years down the road, we're probably going to say something very differently.
Even in year 2, I would guess
Yeah.
that Tate would outplay Pierce, but not in year 1.
Yeah.
Fair. Spencer Fano, 32-inch arms, third percentile for tackles. He's an elite mover. Had a great 40 time. Great drills out there. The way he moves he moves his feet differently for a 300-pound guy.
Great acceleration.
Unbelievable to watch the way he moves. He's sitting here with Will Campbell-esque arms. He's got great film. He's an elite run blocker at Utah, obviously against limited opponent competition.
Yeah, Big 12.
Connor, what's your feel on Fano? Would you take him in the top 10? Do you feel like you can be confident he can be a tackle?
I've been hearing ever since the combine, it's typical that it's the talk is going to happen after your measurables come out. The same thing that happened to Will Campbell has happened to Fano right now, and people are saying, "Oh, well, now he's a guard, and he still has good tape, but now you have to put the guard asterisk on it, and his draft stock is going down." And then if he gets drafted as a tackle, plays tackle, and has an average year, people are going to say that, like, oh, he's a guard. That's why he sucks at tackle. The same exact thing that happened with Will Campbell. But to answer your question, yeah, I think he's for real. I think that Fano's the real deal, and I don't know for sure yet if I have him as the number 1 tackle on my board, but he's got it. So
I don't think I would take the risk. Like if you really want to tackle, to me, you could trade down. And like taking a guy with third percentile arms, I think there's just enough good options at tackle in this draft that I'd rather go Maui Noah. Maui Noah has shorter arms, but I think more like 30th percentile, not third. And then you go further back, like Caleb Lomu, Monroe Freeling are like textbook size, huge, super long arms. I just think there's a lot. Blake Miller, long arm. I think there's a lot of options. Caden Proctor,
Ian Anchor,
even farther back.
Freeling.
So it just seems like unless you look at your roster and you feel like, oh, we have a fallback for him at guard where we can, take a look at tackle and have a plan for him at guard. I wouldn't like leverage like he's going to be our tackle and we want him at tackle.
And so that's the thing so the last offensive lineman we're talking about, I liked that he had snaps at every position. Fano in 2023, majority of his snaps are at left tackle. And when he got to Utah, all but one singular snap was played at right tackle.
Okay. You know what? I have a bone to pick with you here.
Yeah, pick it.
Oh, I love it.
What if he got put at right tackle, played really well at right tackle? Why would they move him to guard or left tackle or like you could be very versatile but not have versatile experience?
Yes, but that also tells me that he's not the most versatile player on the team. Like
they had Caleb Lomu the past 2 years though.
Yeah.
A first-round tackle at left tackle.
Yeah, but you're talking about this guy as a top 10 draft pick.
You know what? Hey, Lomu and Fano, you guys are doing great. Love what you're doing. Can you do a little swapsies for me real quick? Just a little switcheroo. I want to see what you guys look on the other side there.
This is
actually Fano plays center, Lomu at right guard.
This is less about...
We need some versatility here at Utah football.
You guys got to be drafted high.
This is less about the tackle swap and more about how... If it was me personally, I'm going to take someone that high.
Yeah.
I want to know that you can do multiple things on the line.
I get that point in the second and third round when it's like guys that are going to fill out the medium spot on your line or maybe depth. But if you're taking a guy at tackle in the first round, you better hope he can mother effing play tackle. Like, but you're taking him in the top
I have
of
said
the
this
first round.
before. I've been on record saying this.
Okay.
That my feelings on the offensive line across the board positions is that you need to be versatile with the exception of left tackle. If you're a left tackle, that is where the best player should always be.
Yeah. Tell that to Penei Sewell. Boom.
Tell that to Lane Johnson.
Right tackle extraordinaire, Penei Sewell.
If I was the GM of the Lions, I'd blow that shit up day one.
Because Jared Goff is has a blind side on his left.
Yeah.
I like it.
Caden Proctor is an athletic exception at Alabama. Going into this year in the summer, he was considered to be a top 5 pick given his absurd size. He's 6'6.5", 350 pounds, 94th percentile, which
20
is
years old.
outlier. 20 years old.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Coming into camp this past summer, he was at 395.
And I think his playing weight was like 370 or something.
Yeah. Like he leaned up for the combine down to 350.
Damn, that's some beef.
That is beef, boy.
This boy is beefed the fuck up. Like, this boy is chunked.
And I think, but he's Alabama, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not Georgia. I think Evan Neal and J.C. Latham,
Great.
those are first round guys that came
Yep.
from Alabama, had weight problems, and neither Latham's played okay. Evan Neal flamed out, but we've seen whatever they put in their players' nutrition doesn't always transition to the NFL well.
I have a feeling teams like the Eagles and the Chargers are going to kind of orient themselves to these like ultra athletes and just hope that they can use their beef to just plow through guys.
Definitely.
The question with Proctor is there such a thing as being too big at offensive line? Is there such a thing as carrying around too much weight? Mekhi Becton's 350, couldn't really figure it out with his feet. Proctor moves his feet well, but he has limited length and protection.
It depends if he keeps the weight off. 100% depends if he keeps the weight off. If he was inside, I'd say no. I'd say if you're 380 pounds and you can prove that you can still move and push people in the run game inside, yeah, stay there. Eat as many freaking pies, fried chicken pot pies as you want.
What are those like $5 KFC bowls called?
$5 famous Phil.
Yeah, $5 famous bowls.
Yeah.
Just fill up on those things.
I'll give you $20.
Yeah, get 4 of them.
The freaking nutritionist is like, fuck all this. Just go to KFC.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
We're giving you $4 million.
the poor wide receivers are sitting there eating chicken breasts and rice, and
God damn it.
and Caden Proctor's coming in with KFC 4 famous Phillip bowls.
Caden Proctor at 350 has a 32.5-inch vertical, 92nd percentile.
At tackle or is that weight adjusted or
At tackle, not weight adjusted.
I'm going to say
That's
these skin-
explosive.
Bro.
These skinny guys are only getting like 40 inches. So holy cow!
Wow. He can push.
Unbelievable. Holy smokes.
I'd take him where he's at in the first round, in the 20s or so. I like that.
Max Iannaccio out of Arizona State has 34-inch arms. He ran a 4.91 40 in the 95th percentile. And
Right tackle.
Had a 9'7" broad jump, 92nd percentile. Really elite athlete with great tools. He was a basketball player growing up out in L.A. He went to community college in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
There was a offensive line coach who picked him up on a Division III team and said, actually the story is his AAU basketball coach, his junior year or senior year of high school was like, dude,
Look, this isn't for you.
dude, you're good, but you're playing the wrong fucking sport.
Dude, you're eating a couple too many $5 famous
Dude,
bowls
you're
here.
6'6", 330, dude.
Lay up the KFC.
You're on the wrong fucking field, brother. And told him to play football. He went to community college, transferred his way up. He went to Arizona State. And in the second half of this season this year, he's consistently shown progression each year, year after year. 3 months ago, Iannaccio was like a 4th rounder just because of his tools. His film really came together in Arizona State down the back end of the year. And he projects as a guy that has the tools to be an elite tackle at the NFL level. The question is, does he have enough film to justify taking him at the end of the first round?
I think that if you don't need him to come in and be the guy right away, definitely worth the pick there. If you need someone to start day one, you need to find someone else.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Ariante Ursary from Minnesota last year.
Nice.
Or athletic beasts. Kind of like that early round 2 frame.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he's a little raw, but he's got it within his body. It depends on who's your O-line coach, who's your coordinator. Like, do you think you can build this guy up, or are you going to let him flame out because you can't coach him right? I think, like, when I typically hear this, like, analysts like the film guys a little more, whereas NFL, like, GMs typically are like, give me the bodies.
Right.
Who are the athletic freaks? And
Give me the canvas almost.
yeah, like, we'll coach them up here.
Analysts want the painting. GMs want the canvas.
No, and he is an athletic freak, so
So the story that people always tell is that coaches kind of enter the scouting process like 3 or 4 weeks before the combine.
Sure.
They get done with the season, they take a 2-week vacation, they hop on, they're like, all right, let's watch some film. They watch a little bit of film, they're more focused on their own team. Then they go to the combine, they look at that dude, and they say, I don't give a fuck what his film looks like. I can make him into a star. You know how good of a coach I am? I'm in the fucking NFL. I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm one of the best in the world.
True.
Give me the guy who can do it all, and I'll turn him into a star.
Yeah. I feel like that plays into the whole ego side of like the NFL.
Yeah.
Like almost like if you've ever watched The Last Dance, like whoever their GM was, do you remember his name?
Oh, fuck.
The GM of the Bulls, I don't. I should, but
Yeah, but essentially how he was like, look, Michael Jordan's good, Scottie Pippen's good, but do you see what the fuck I did here? Like, you seeing this shit?
Yeah.
To me, it's almost like that concept of like, I don't want the guy who has it. I want the guy who doesn't have it, and I can make him into something, and then I'm a part of it. It's not like I get credit there.
I feel like it's the same justification for reaching on a guy early in the draft. Like, if you hit on the guy, then you can just feel like, this is all fucking me. Like, I'm the one who saw his talent when nobody else saw him. I feel like that's the little wet dream of GMs when they know they're reaching on a consensus guy, is that ego thing of like, I took a guy where no one else saw it.
Yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq, the best tester of all time at tight end. Vernon Davis Jr. ran a 4.39 40, best all time among tight ends. 43.5-inch vertical jump, second all time behind the next guy we're going to talk about, and 11-foot 1-inch broad jump, third all time. Sadiq on film, it's obvious he has tools upon tools upon tools. He's a little bit shorter. He's 6'3", around 245, 250. Good blocker, shows great effort. Electric after the catch. Like George Kittle on steroids with a rocket booster up his butt. Like, can fly all over the field.
Whoa.
that's my official football frauds comp for Kenyon Sadiq.
George Kittle on steroids with a rocket booster in his butt.
Yeah, I love seeing this because I was a little questionable. Like, you're not seeing the production from him. Like, wow, you're going to take him that high. Seeing that he's a freak of nature, because he's only 239 pounds, he's not that 260 you really want at like a wide tight end where they're be blocking in line, part of your run scheme.
Yeah.
But to me, it's worth it. Like, you watch his film, his highlight, like, he can catch, he can quickly convert to a runner, he has a skill set. I don't know why Oregon didn't feature him a little more, but between some of his film and seeing he's an athletic freak, I like him in the top 15. Like, to me, this just shows like he's got, and we know tight end is a position where the best of all time are the freaks of nature as an athlete. This is one more example.
Yeah, so in 2023 and 2024, he pretty much played 50% of his snaps in the slot and then in line.
Okay.
This past year, it was more like 70-30 in the slot.
Okay.
And
no Terrence Ferguson. He got drafted the year before.
And you definitely saw obviously an uptick in targets and receptions and production. But I wonder how that affects NFL GMs, like decisions on this guy. If you're going to draft particularly a slot tight end.
Yep.
And when you look at his, like, obviously his testing is off the charts, but he's a 6'3" tight end. That's not massive.
No.
And he is 240, and he can beef up a little bit, but then with the frame you have, it's like, okay, then you're 6'3", 255.
No, he's gonna be a Brock Bowers type, where it's like you're getting a lot of slot looks. Like the Raiders have Michael Mayer, who is their bigger wide tight end right on the line of scrimmage, and Brock Bowers, he's moving around, he's in the slot, like he's more pass catching first.
Yeah.
Are you sure that Kenyon Sadiq can put on weight?
But that's the other thing. I feel like he's just maxed it out, and he's an insane athlete.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want him to.
But he's 6'3", and I'm just curious how that's going to translate to when you have to chip Micah Parsons. When you have to chip, like, I don't know. I don't know 100%. In my eyes, this is uncharted territory, having a guy that's so freakishly athletic, that's not a wide receiver, but plays in the slot at 6'3" as a tight end.
I think you want him. He needs to go to a good coach.
Yeah.
If you have a guy who doesn't know how to use these different chess pieces, then it's not going to work. But if you can get, Clint Kubiak, Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, any top 10, top 12 play caller that's inventive, then let's go to the moon, baby.
Which is so weird because I feel like I'm just so on my heels with Kenyon Sadiq that I might punt on Kenyon Sadiq, and if it gets too far to like, how do you not draft this guy? I feel like I might take Stowers over him just because I'm like, what do I even do?
Stowers is the same thing.
But Stowers,
Speaking
I
of
know,
Eli Stowers,
but I know who Stowers is. Miles.
Stowers has no blocking film on record. He's a terrible blocker. Sadiq is a very good blocker. Stowers is amped up Arondé Gadsden, as we mentioned a few episodes ago. 4.51 40, not at Sadiq levels, but a Anthony Edwards level jumper.
Yeah.
45.5-inch vert record combine.
Yeah, he broke the combine record there.
11-foot 3-inch broad combine record. A freak among freaks. He's not going to block for you.
Nope. But you don't. But you're not gonna. You draft him and you know you're not. He's not gonna be in line.
That's BS.
But the thing is,
they're the same. You could have Kenyon Sadiq and you could say, I know he's not going to
You're
block.
not. They're not the same. And
Kenyon
just
Sadiq,
so you know, I know that it doesn't make any sense what I said when comparing Stowers and Sadiq. I just don't know how I would use Sadiq.
Fair.
I have no idea how I would use
I
it.
respect your honesty.
Stowers, I would draft him and be like, here's where you're going to fit in.
True.
Day one, I'm like, all right, boy, you're going to be right in the slot, and you're just going to run goes. You're going to cut across the middle. You're going to be a big target for my quarterback.
yeah, turn into a running back after the catch.
Yep. And the thing I liked about him is that he was a quarterback before turning into a tight end. He was with Diego Pavia at some other college. I want to say New Mexico.
New Mexico, I think.
Boom.
Nice pull, guys.
And they were in a competition.
So dope.
Pavia won out. The coaching staff was like, hey, don't want you on the bench. You should be a tight end. And he converted to tight end. He definitely is athletic. And then when Vanderbilt wanted Pavia, he went with Pavia to Vanderbilt.
Dope.
And that was the history there. They went sicko mode over there, and did they break conference records together?
Not sure.
But
Through their love and mutual admiration.
but it's insane. Imagine like someone beating you out, and then you're like, what if you just like threw me the ball, and
That's
then
true.
you and I
and then you get drafted.
yeah, for real, man.
And he doesn't.
For real. But the last thing I want to point, I brought that up because him having that quarterback experience is very relevant to me because he's seen it through the lens of a quarterback, how you read defenses. And then he takes that, translates it to being a route runner and seeing what the defense is doing mid-snap, and it keeps you and the quarterback on the same level.
Travis Kelce was a high school quarterback, learned how to read zones, sit in zones very well. Kind of a similar story there. Last thing on Stowers, I think the real question with him is where would you rank him among receivers?
In the draft.
Yeah, because I think that he's a receiver, and I think the real question is where he would rank among receivers in the draft.
He's just his body type. He's 240 or 235 at least. So, probably where everyone else would, after Concepcion, that range.
Yeah. Last guy here, Jacob Rodriguez, a guy who was expected to come in the combine and be a very poor performer. He was a top 5 finalist for the Heisman this past year, had an unbelievable year.
Won the Linebacker of the Year award.
At Texas Tech, forced like 11 turnovers in 1 year. He's a fucking unreal baller, playmaker, runs around with his head on fire.
Yeah, I would say he has a real nose for the ball. That's just what I would say.
He sniffs the ball.
Ball hawk.
He ended up with a 9.23 relative athletic score out of 10, which is elite. Ran a 4.57 40, had a 38.5-inch vertical, which is the 92nd percentile, 96th percentile in the 3-cone, 90th percentile in the 20-yard shuttle.
Crazy.
He's, to me, a lock in the end of the first round.
I wouldn't. The thing is, without a doubt, like in my mind, he is the linebacker 2 in this class. I don't like if anyone tells me otherwise. He has the best tape out of any linebacker in the draft this year, and you can't change my mind on that.
Styles.
The tape for Rodriguez was almost like he was doing it alone. Styles, you can make the arguments that the pieces around him lofted him up to succeed.
Well, to be fair, Rodriguez did have a bunch of elite draft picks.
David
in front of him
Bailey
on the
and Romello
defensive
Height.
line.
Yes.
Lee Hunter.
But the style of linebacker that Rodriguez was wasn't the same as Styles was in that Ohio State defense. And so when you factor in that, yes, there was a lot of pressure off the edges. Rodriguez wasn't shooting the gaps. Rodriguez wasn't having one-on-ones with running backs. He was playing the spy majority of the time. And seeing the play unfold.
I loved his film.
And being there, it's almost like he saw the play unfold before it even happened.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, this guy is cerebral. And the one question mark was, does he have the athletic traits? And to me, he proved it at the combine.
No question.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks is that it was Sony Styles, some guy, I have no idea who he was, and then Rodriguez. And so Sony Styles would put up some insane numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The analysts would talk about it for 6 minutes, and Rodriguez would do his stuff, and everybody would go, Jacob Rodriguez, good time. Next thing.
That's so weird. I would have thought they'd been more surprised.
I mean, but like Sony Styles had such an insane performance,
setting records,
that Jacob Rodriguez checking these boxes wasn't the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Fellas, we got through another episode of the Football Frauds podcast. We went through trades and news around the NFL and rosters. We went through all the combine stuff. We're fucking ripping through pods right now. We just grind and grind and grind and put our nose to the grindstone and just grind even harder than you could possibly imagine how far you can
who's
grind.
it all for?
Are the future GMs listening? Because if you're listening to this content, I think you're most likely.
It's for you guys.
God?
It's for them. It's for them. It's for you guys. We do it all for you.
It's for you.
Because we love you.
I love you. And Connor has a special gift for everyone.
Yes. Fraud.